And let's go.
And now it's time for Bikes, Mics, and Idiots with your hosts, Ubi and Eric.
Alrighty, guys, here we go again.
I hurt my finger.
Obviously, you guys seen what happened, so I don't think we need to go into that too much. I have my moments. I have my moments.
Yeah, that happens.
I'm sure we've all bumped into things.
Yeah, I bumped into something this morning.
Bumping uglies doesn't count.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I mean, those are good things. So there was a topic
begins already.
that I kind of wanted to just touch on. We're not going to go into this topic, but where it says, "Can I start calling my pants a toolbox?"
Oh God.
Come on, you know that was funny.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
So
you know,
your favorite tool inside your pants in the toolbox is the
my
finishing
knife that I
hammer,
keep- the knife that I keep in my
the
pocket.
little finishing hammer.
Yes, very much so. No, so just so you guys know, so I don't know if we may have addressed this once before, but we actually do have notes that we kind of keep for, hey, we have little topics that we might want to bring up. And it's a shared community note between me and Eric.
And we have ignored it for weeks. Just because things have just kind of happened that get us funny and off into a tangent, and then we go.
But we do that. We try to reference it a little bit here and there, but it's almost become a message board between me and him. Just randomly, he'll add topics on, and I'll respond to him, or I'll add a topic.
He'll add
on
something
and
to it. So, like, I hate empty space and things. I hate it. So I literally typed in empty space,
Yes.
and then he responds back, "LOL, F you." I can't help it. I can't.
So
help
we
it.
just
We could hit the 1-2 above that empty space too. That's a really good one, but that's a long topic. So maybe we'll see where we're at.
just
we'll
the
see
other
where
day
we're at
too.
today.
We did hit a little bit of that.
So that
too,
that's kind of relevant. So we could do. We might have 3 topics today. This might be a little bit longer. It depends on how far they go because we're both tired.
Well, and we just kind of go with it. Honestly, we just go with the flow.
Yeah,
things just happen sometimes. Sometimes we go a little longer.
Well, last week God visited us.
Oh yeah.
46 is apparently God's favorite age. 46.
Just wait till next year.
Oh God, yeah. Then it'll be 47. Amazing how God changes every year.
Every year for some reason.
I just snotted on myself.
So,
wow, that's on.
So that's
on
be,
there.
Yeah. So you guys are going to see that we're a little special this week.
Yeah, it's been a good week.
Wait, I feel like I've said that multiple
But
times.
you know what? This week at work was actually really good. Like, honestly, it was a good week. So, little weird changes, things that happened, but nothing crazy. But overall, I'm going to say a good week.
So
got sleep for once.
So the main thing at work is
can you
what
get sleep?
That too.
Well,
what they say is
at work.
the only thing that doesn't change is everything changes.
Yeah. The only constant is change.
Yeah, the only constant is change.
That's another way of saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing multiple different ways, but that's
that's kind of the same.
That's Harley versus Indian, so that's the way that works.
Yeah. Oh, so you're better than me because you're college educated.
No, I'm better than you because I have a Harley.
Oh.
Although new exhaust, freaking amazing, dude.
Oh yeah, I finally put that new exhaust.
His
on.
exhaust, people like. I'm not a fan. Like, I always made fun of his exhaust before, and we haven't talked
machine.
bikes. We haven't talked bikes for a while. So
no, we haven't.
I have to hit this in here. It sounded like a sewing machine forever. Like honestly, forever.
I have to admit it kind of did.
And it didn't sound like a bike. It sounded like a turboed performance car because we got behind that Porsche the other day and thing would blow us out of the water. It would blow us out of the water.
But it was completely
stock. It took off and all you hear is
yeah.
Like it's quiet. But hey, he put the new pipes on. They sound amazing. So now he's got to upgrade his stereo because he can't hear his stereo. So
I did
we're
text you that.
bikers. We put loud exhausts on our bikes and then have to buy new stereos so we can hear them.
Yeah.
But totally changed the bike.
It's
Totally
it's
changed.
totally
Get
different.
some good little backfires. I think you're probably going to have to get it tuned.
I might. Hopefully not, but either way.
I think even
it'll
just
adjust
a
itself.
bass tune would be okay. I think you don't have to go through a full dyno tune, but I think
Yeah, just
figuring out a
something to-
bass tune would be good.
Well,
Well, are you planning to do the cam?
I'm still debating
Your cams are actually fairly easy to do because it's an overhead cam.
overhead
motor,
cam,
so
but
you still have to pull everything apart to get to it. But
that's the only problem. They got to do everything to it. So
I think
it's
honestly,
pretty
if
it's
you
a
did
pretty
the
pricey.
cams on that, you'd be happy. But I think the only thing is it might kill your rideability because I think the cams on the Indians are very high RPM cams.
So actually, the stock ones, if you don't go Lloyd's, they
Yeah.
end up being right around 2,800 RPM.
So that's not bad. That's
So it's
mid range.
actually
That's
not too
so
bad.
on the highway. That's where
That's
you're
right about
cruising
where I'd
at
be.
anyway.
Yeah,
So-
so they're not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I love a big cam that gives you that
Just
lope.
that lope.
That I love it, but a lot of times it affects rideability. So that's why on the Harley I did the 122 kit,
Yeah,
which
It-
I'm
it-
still breaking it in. So
and it makes a significant difference.
yeah,
But I think I've hit the point of my bike's fast enough.
you can always make it fast, but somebody's always going to have cubic dollars.
Yeah,
Bob,
yeah, definitely, Bob.
yeah. I mean, I just did mine the same thing. I wasn't going to do it. I did the suspension, then I was like, I just want a little bit more, so that when I'm cruising, I
But
can
it's
crack
never
the
enough.
throttle. Oh no, it will be.
It's
It will
never
be.
enough.
It will be because this puts me right around 130 torque.
Yeah.
It's at 1900 RPM is where the cams kick in.
See, but I'm
With that
saying
kit,
it's
so.
never enough because it's
Oh,
always
no,
like,
somebody's always
you
gonna be
always
faster.
want a little bit more. You always end up wanting a little bit
but
more.
even when I built my Banshee and did the CT 370 kit,
Yeah.
that was enough for me, for my style of riding. I didn't need more. Now you go to the dunes and I'm telling you guys would blow that thing out of the water, and my bike was fast.
Yeah.
I mean, we GPSed at over 90 miles an hour on a dirt road before, so I mean it was
That's
quick enough on an ATV that's fast.
oh yeah,
But it was fast enough for me. I think honestly, with the kind of riding I do, I wouldn't want a high rev horsepower motor. It'd be fun.
see,
but
it's not about the high rev part. It's more about
but
you want-
anything over the 122
Yeah.
on the Harley.
Oh, yeah, you
you
gotta
get
rev
into
it
that
out.
high rev. You have to rev it out, and I don't want to be running at 4,000 RPMs all the time. I don't want to.
No, it's
I
not-
like
it's-
that lower RPM.
Plus,
If I want a
it's
fast
just
bike, I'll buy
like-
one.
But that's where it's like
Yeah.
you're right on that cusp. You always end up being
Yeah.
right on that cusp.
I'm
when
right
you
on the
do
edge of it.
something, when you do something to it, you're just like, oh, but it would be nice to have this much, a little bit more, or you know what I mean? It always,
Yeah, I mean-
because you're happy with it at first.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm
then-
even happy. I was happy with it the way it was. I just wanted a little more snap.
And see, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I kind of want a little bit more, but I'm also like, I can get myself into a lot of trouble with.
But I
how
already
mine
get
is.
myself into trouble with its stock.
You know what
But,
I'm saying?
I mean,
so
that's-
it's
yeah.
kind of that you want more, but is it?
What I really wanted was that ability to because even with it on cruise now,
Mm-hmm.
when I'm in cruise on 6th gear, if I start going up a steep grade, it starts to slow the bike down where
Yeah.
it doesn't have, it's just missing that just enough torque to keep it where it's at without downshifting.
Oh, yeah.
So with that 122, I don't feel like I have that problem now.
Yeah.
It's that problem's gone.
So it makes a
So for
significant
me,
difference.
for cruising, that's why I picked that instead of the 131 or the 135, which I could have done, or I could have done an SSS one. They make a 143 Dominator kit for somebody. I saw somebody who had that on the other day, and I was like,
But that's the thing is why you hit-
190 torque. Dudes, guys
just-
are smoking leader sport bikes with those things. I don't need that. It's not a sport bike. It's
No.
for cruising, which is why I went with the 122 because it's more of a mid-range build.
Yeah,
The
they
whole
get you
point
in
is
that-
it's giving you mid-range. Doesn't raise the horsepower hardly at all.
yeah.
I mean, it
Which-
does, but
it
not
does.
much. Not
But-
comparative to a 131 or 135 that gives you
But then
way
that's the
big
thing
horsepower
too is
torque.
the horsepower, where the horsepower kicks in. It's already going to be way high end anyways.
Yeah.
I don't want to run.
Yeah.
I don't want to run at $4,000.
I've got
$5,000.
an air cooled motor.
Yeah.
I don't want to run at high RPMs because I know what happens to air cooled motors at high RPMs. They like to
It's
go
hot.
pew,
Well, and also,
Well, and when they
run
get hot, they detonate. They freak. All those other things kick in that are problems. Now, the things I did upgrade my oil pump. I kept everything Harley parts because it's written into my warranty. So,
yeah.
I did the Screaming Eagle upgraded oil pump. I did do heavier clutch springs. So there's a couple other things that I added in there just to help with the power. Like they were like, you don't need to do the clutch springs, but it wouldn't hurt. I'm like, you've already got the thing open anyway. Just throw the different clutch springs in. And I was like, how much labor is that? They're like, half an hour. Just throw them in there.
Yeah, might as well at that point.
And it only changes the pull by like 2 pounds. And I think I can handle it.
Well, I hope so with those freaking mammoth.
Rah, rah,
with those
rah,
mammoth
rah, rah,
forearms you
rah,
got.
rah. I'm no T-Rex. Yee.
That was T-Rex Yoda. That was Yoda T-Rex.
Small arms have I?
I mean,
Push
they're both
up,
green,
you must.
right?
What's that?
They're both green, right?
Yeah.
Actually, we don't even know. Who knows what color
No.
T-Rex actually were?
I bet you
I've
they
seen
were
brown.
Yeah, I would love to find. I wish somebody could find a skin on an intact one to see like what they really.
Well,
were.
because you've seen the whole thing that they're saying they were feathered.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Imagine a huge, like, Big Bird.
Like that's gonna end up on there. But
It's like Big Bird.
like we're insane today.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those. It's gonna be
It's
one of
gonna
those.
be- it's gonna
casts.
be a-
Like
So sorry.
it's been a good day. It's just we've had a good day. We've had a good week. I'm getting ready to complete my transfer, get to my different station.
So which is that's nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I'll be closer to home. The whole point is that gets me closer to home. So instead of driving an hour, I'll only be driving about 25, 30 minutes.
which
So
that makes
that's an hour a day.
I was gonna say it makes such a difference.
Huge.
Which I never knew that before. So I had a job before that.
Oh, you had a job before?
Yeah, I had a few of those.
Well, and
They were never great.
No, well, we'll get into that topic here a little bit later on. Today, we're going to talk about some of our worst jobs that we've had, and we're going to talk about that one more towards the end because we can go into a rabbit hole. That
Oh
one.
yeah, we can absolutely.
But for every job I've had since I've been 14, well, no, 14 through 16, I had a job close to home, but because I couldn't drive. Once I got my license, my closest job from age 16 to 46, so for 40 years, I've driven more than 45 minutes to work every day. I have personally contributed to the downfall of the greenhouse. Like we've killed the green.
But that's the thing. You don't realize. I think it's one of those things you don't realize how much it actually affects like your everyday life.
because I did it for so long. Like that was normal.
It was normal.
And now I'm like at the location we work together at. It's a 20-minute drive for me, and it was like all of a sudden I was like, where was this 30 years ago? Oh, it's always been there. I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
And so now I'm
And it
in a
makes-
situation where it's great.
Oh yeah, and it makes a significant difference. It impacts your life in such a crazy way.
Well, fuel cost, especially now because fuel's not cheap.
It's
And
insane.
and I run 91 in my truck because it's recommended for 91. You don't have to. The engine computers are smart enough now.
Yeah, they'll-
but for the extra 20 cents, like honestly, 20 cents a gallon for 10 gallons is
depends
$2.
where you go because sometimes it's almost
Well, it's
50
30.
cent different.
Yeah, well, down where I get gas, it's always been 20 cents more than base.
Yeah.
So for what I look at it is 10 gallons, that's $2. 20 gallons, it's $4. That's not going to break my bank.
Yeah, it's not.
So I would rather
significant.
do it and have the full power and ability of the truck, especially when it's hot. Because it's so hot down here, that's when your fuel pre-detonates. And I've always run like 91 in the bike or 90, like
Oh, yeah.
on the last trip to Georgia, they had 93 and then 97 in the one place. We're like, oh, it's amazing, $18 a gallon. Oh my God. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I've always run higher octane stuff in most of my cars that like any of the turbo cars I've had, I always ran
You have to.
91.
You absolutely have to.
Which is crazy. Like all the new turbo cars that are coming out, and they're like, "Oh, 87." I
How?
wouldn't put 87 in it,
How?
and that's just
That's what I
me of
wanna know.
having driven lots of turbo cars. My 350Z was turbo.
Well, and
my
I
turbo
guess-
Jetta. Like
you
obviously,
were
my
saying, the computers
turbo
are smart enough.
diesels,
but
different.
But still, like it's. I think it's risky. I think it can be done, but it's
Yeah.
probably risky.
Even in my 300ZX, my 84 300ZX turbo, the old wedge body, single
love the
turbo. It wasn't
300s.
the dual turbo. It was a single turbo with the wedge body and the little air scoop on it.
yeah.
Digital dash. When I parted that car out, I made so much money.
Oh, I bet.
because eventually it got so bad that the body rotted out so bad. I went around a corner and one of my bags rolled through the side of the car. So that's when I find, and I had 330,000 miles on it.
Holy crap, that's a lot.
And for a turbo car.
Oh yeah,
Stock motor.
Really?
Yeah, never replaced anything on it. And I had boosted up the turbo by jamming the wastegate. So it had more. I actually had enough horsepower in it that it actually broke a CV in the middle of because they were independent rear suspension. Axle? It broke the axle.
It didn't break the boot.
It didn't break the boot. It broke the axle. Ooh. So then I was like, ooh, I better dial that down a little bit. Yeah. But that car made me a fortune. I sold the glass because it had the locking T-top still. And I had the original T-tops, the original bags for the T-tops, the rear glass. I sold the glass for $2,000. The digital dash, $2,500. The hood, somebody bought the hood.
You consider timing also because
that was
how long ago was that?
15 years ago.
So
actually more than that.
That was probably more than that.
2007, 2006. So yeah, oh my god.
Oh yeah,
it's 20 years
almost
ago.
20 years ago.
Oh my god.
But the difference.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably like the equivalent of $4
to $5 grand now. Yeah, probably. Like I went online the other day and looked for one to see if I couldn't even find a digital dash anymore for those things. So they were very, very temperamental as far as like I had a short in my windshield washer because it had the pop-up headlights, but it also had the windshield washer sprayers on the headlights.
Oh, on the headlights.
And the problem was that had a short, and that would short out the dash if you would push the button. So I ended up just disconnecting the button when I figured out why the dash kept shorting out, and I'm like, oh man, that's weird.
That's the most random connection.
Yeah. And then some guy bought the motor and transaxle from me, the motor and the transaxle from me for a buggy, a sand buggy.
Oh wow!
So he bought the ECU, the motor. Like he came out and pulled the whole thing himself.
Yeah.
$1,500. Like I paid $500 for the car when I bought it, and I ended up parting it out for like $7,000, $8,000 by the time I was done with it. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
See, but you
couldn't believe it.
I think a lot of people shy away from doing that just because it's so time consuming to.
Well, I had a buddy who owned a shop, and he's like, dude, you can just leave it here. I've got a covered area. You can just park it there while I park it. He goes, so I had the ability there. So I got really lucky because I sold the engine transaxle first. Mm-hmm. And then the guy before the guy came to take that out, somebody wanted the dash. I'm like, if you want to see it work, you got to come here before this guy pulls the motor. So I sold the motor, transmission, transaxle, and dash all within a week. So and then I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. Everything else is closed. And then I sold the glass afterwards. And after the glass and hood went, I just said, scrap the rest of it. I'm not going to keep tearing it apart.
You're not going to keep going. Which a lot of people don't have that luxury. And even if they do,
I was very lucky.
It's just it takes so much time to part something out.
I wouldn't have done it on my own.
Yeah, it's not something that like, oh, this month I'm going to have it all parted out and sell it. It's, over time.
Well, and I was lucky because I had guys in the Z Club, and they're like, I want to pull the parts.
Oh, yeah, I want them.
Oh, yeah. I'll come help you if you want to pull the parts. Oh, no, I'll come and pull them. I'll bring everything. He brought his own tools.
Oh, see, so there you go. So it was
simplest thing on the planet. It's one of those things that, that never would happen to me. And I would have said that never happened to me until it did. And it worked out good.
But most people don't have that luxury of parting out something. But you consider, so I watched something the other day and they were talking about getting something for $500, getting a car. That's almost unrealistic nowadays. Well, even if it's an older, that in between years, like those, I want to say crappy, but there was some cool cars in the 80s.
Yeah, there was.
But it was just that boxy look. That's not really a super popular thing. They're starting to catch popularity now, the 80s cars.
Look at the 90s trucks.
Oh.
90s pickups, those old rectangle headlight GMs and Chevys are now going for crazy money.
Yeah.
They're not even, I guess they are classics for the new.
Because
we're just old.
Because my 96, I can get classic plate for it.
Yep.
Classic plates for it now.
I can get them for my son's Jeep. It's a 2001. It's 20 years old.
I thought it was 25.
Oh, it's 25 years. Well,
25.
One more year. Next year I get to do it.
So
2026. 26. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. In a couple years. I mean,
a couple years you can get it.
Still pretty close though.
But then you get to Haggerty and you get the cheaper insurance through them.
So
my insurance for boy is not cheap.
But that goes back to, we talked about this a while back now, about how for us, because you start realizing your age. because of that.
Yeah, when
'Cause
did,
you're like,
when
"Oh,
did
that
we
was
realize we were old?
Yeah.
When the cars we owned is our first cars are now classics. Shoot.
Yeah.
So like I think I want to say the first one that I didn't technically own it. My grandfather let me use it. Is he had an '84 Dodge pickup with a 360, the deep custom
that's cool.
D100. Loved it.
That's a cool truck.
Biggest piece of crap on the planet. But it was my first car.
Yeah.
So like it was so awesome. Like we would take it out and we would go cut wood for our campsites.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd fill it, like we filled it so full with wood one time that we were going up over an overpass, and all of a sudden I was like, we're not going anywhere. I'm like, did we break the steering? And then I let off the gas and it hit and was like, oh shoot. We were literally pulling a wheelie up and over because we had it packed so full. Like we had it packed
So it was
and we stacked the wood. It wasn't just thrown in there. We stacked it and it was like we had it from the bottom of the bed to almost the roof.
See, and that's
it
the
was
crazy
way too much.
But that's the crazy thing.
How
You
it
don't
didn't break the
realize
frame.
how much that wood actually
weighs.
how much it weighs, especially before it dries out.
Yeah, it was honestly probably at least a cord, if not 2 cords of wood in the back of that thing. And we took it out to our campsite and we pretty much burned it one night. We were like Lord of the Flies dancing around the bonfire. It was amazing. And we did dumb things like make gas bombs. So you'd get 2 plastic grocery bags, you'd pour it in there and you'd tie it shut and you'd toss it in there and it would hit and open up and
Big old
his
flame.
parents, like, it melted the side of my tent. I had to buy a new tent after that year because it actually melted the side of the tent the one time. And it was like, oh man, I got to sleep in there, guys. Let's stop.
That's the funny thing is like those are things you could do back in the day. Now if you try to do stuff like that, you can't.
No, you can't. Well, and especially for us here in Arizona, if you did that, you'd burn down a forest. Like that would not be good. But
I mean,
like up in New York, in the rural area where I'm from, you could probably still get away with it because there's enough land that you can get back where people aren't really going to see it.
Yeah.
But you'd have to go like hunting in the woods for a spot for it.
Yeah, it's not just something you
Yeah,
can
we
just
were-
be like, oh, I'm gonna go do it in my backyard.
Yeah, we were probably an 1/8 mile from the road.
Oh yeah, so
You could see it.
Yeah.
Like his parents said that a couple of times. It shook the windows when we did the gas box. And once again, on Bikes, Mics, and Idiots, we want to thank one of our founding sponsors, Sketchy Alias. He's a freelance graphic designer from Arizona who specializes in vector-based artwork. I'm an idiot. I don't know what that means, but it's really cool. He's been working on design for over 15 years and has worked in everything from logos, apparel, design, and social media. He's made a phenomenal logo for us, and he is, like I said, one of our founding sponsors. But like going back, like we think about it and like we listen to the radio. So like how important was music to us back then?
Oh, it was everything.
So
And
like
it was
concerts. What do you think about concerts? Now, change of prices, price of tickets, etc. Like
so that's okay.
how
so
crazy. So
after the whole pandemic thing, it changed the landscape of everything.
oh yeah.
I remember being able to go to concerts and it'd be $40 for good tickets.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you were paying, and you were
Well,
like,
I'm really old. I'll get you here. 10 bands, $10 at a music festival in Syracuse every year.
see,
And it was like
that's cool.
name bands. We're talking Third Eye at the time. Third Eye Blind, Dave Matthews, Smash Mouth, Semisonic was there for one of them. So I got to see all these cool grunge bands of the year. Like every year I got to see these guys, and we went every year. And it went from eventually it was $15. I think by the time I was a senior, but
That's
$15 for
For-
10 bands.
especially good.
Yeah,
like,
and
and
it-
it wasn't just some small bands. There was some
No,
good
and there was a
bands in
couple
there.
small bands.
Yeah, like the openers. and
Live
kinda
was
stuff like
there.
that.
Sponge,
Sponge. Don't know-
great band.
Don't know Sponge, but
Sponge was good, and then Love Spit Love was one of their opening acts. Did we forget?
we may have lost. Oh no.
Okay, it's good.
Okay, I was
It's just
about to say,
reset.
I thought we lost the camera.
Yeah, make sure we
because I
don't-
felt it because it was hot.
Oh, is
but
it? Oh shoot! My God, that thing's on fire.
yeah, which I mean, again, it's hot in Arizona, so
It might be something smart we do maybe next time is we don't plug it in. We just
the
use
battery
the
won't run long enough.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't do
That's
an
the
hour.
problem. Yeah. Well, it might, but it'll get even hotter with the battery in
okay.
there.
So,
that's
yeah.
why we've been. That's
Yeah.
why we've always run it this way.
So we need to get a fan just for that.
Possibly,
Actually, a little mini fan would not be a bad idea.
it might help us too. No, but so I think they still do it KFMA Day.
Okay.
Here in Tucson.
It'll be a similar thing to what we did K-Rockathon.
Yeah,
K-Rock's
so-
not even a rock station anymore. It's some weird music.
So KFMA Day was a big thing. I went to that so many times. So many good bands. I've seen like Five Finger Death Punch, all that kind of stuff. And it would be like, it'd be, you know, when I first started going, it was probably like $25-$30. And then it started bumping into like the $40 to $50 for the ticket. But you're talking good bands.
Good quality bands
A Day to
for it.
Remember.
Yeah, so,
I've seen Linkin Park there. You know, I've seen.
But now, one of the last concerts I went to, we went to Stevie Nicks. Mm-hmm. $150 a ticket for the nosebleeds.
I got you beat.
For nosebleeds.
Oh, yeah. That's, yeah.
Like, we were like
Way
second, third deck, way up. Like, and I'm glad we did it because we got to see, actually, I missed the Stevie Nicks one. I was sick for that. My daughter went with my wife because I was like,
at least someone got to
I came
enjoy
home
it.
from work and I had like the goo running out of my eyes. I looked like a zombie. But we went and saw, the previous year, we saw Fleetwood Mac. And then she came back
That
on
would
her
be cool.
own. And now they're done. They're not doing concerts ever again. So I'm glad I got to see their final tour. Because
Till it's not their final tour.
I don't think they'll get back together
No,
because
they're
Christine
already-
McVie died. So, and
But-
then Lindsey Buckingham won't play with them anymore.
But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
how they get you. They're
No,
like,
the other,
this is-
last tour.
And then George Strait's a great
Yeah.
example
Oh, yeah.
of that. He did his little, this is my final tour. Then he went and did a residency in Las Vegas, which I went to go see because I
Yeah.
never got to see him actually on
Yeah,
tour.
last tour.
Which it was a great concert. Went to go see him. Pretty pricey. Worth it though.
Yeah.
But now he's again touring again, and you're like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
I mean, he's already old.
Yeah. It's not the same. Like I went and saw Guns N' Roses,
Yeah.
and it was a good concert. Wasn't a great,
But it's not
concert.
it's not the same. as
Alice
when
in
they were,
Chains opened for him, and honestly, Alice in Chains
was
sounded just like it did when I heard them in concert 10 years ago,
see that's
or 15 years ago. So they were so amazing. And I loved Guns N' Roses because I haven't seen them in concert in a while. So
Yeah.
it was good to see them. I've seen Def Leppard too. Def Leppard was really good because the drummer from Def Leppard's only got one arm. The drummer from Def Leppard only got one arm. But he does good.
It's-
He plays a hell of a drum.
But
Yeah,
it's
I'm with you
it's-
on that.
It's gotten to the point of after the pandemic, it's gotten crazy.
Oh, yeah.
the
Crazy
amount
prices.
of. So, Morgan, I went to go see Morgan Wallen. It was a great concert, great stadium
Which
tour.
one's him?
Last night he did that recent one with Post Malone.
Oh yeah, all stuff I don't understand because it's country.
It's all country. It's country music, but
I mean,
it's
country
kinda
music
rock,
is just
it's-
great.
It's kind of rock country. You might enjoy some of the.
Well, I mean,
newer
I like
country
Aaron
that's-
Lewis. He's country as well.
but he's not really rock country.
no,
He's more like bluegrass, backwoods type country.
yeah. I like bluegrass actually. I
So,
love bluegrass music.
but you like rock, so I
Yeah.
think there's certain rock country
and,
that you
and
might
I've
like.
heard you've played. You know, you have like the most diverse golf playlist on the planet.
I just
We go
put my-
from "Born in the USA" to
to
I can't hit the ball to
because you want to start dancing. No, it goes from that to then some Linkin Park to. To
You just got a concert
90s
right there.
rap to 90s R&B. To,
Yeah.
it bounces.
it goes
everywhere.
every that playlist. But that's a
Again,
good thing
that's-
though. Like
it's diversity.
I think the whole reason I'm not a fan of country is because my parents pushed it on me so hard when I was growing up, and I was like,
Rebel.
Nirvana, which
You wanted to be a
which is
rebel.
one of the ones that I missed.
Yeah.
And we were gonna go like, I'm like, hey guys, I can't go this one. I have to work. I had to work at the state park.
Yeah.
And I missed it, and then he himself.
Which is yeah, it happens.
Yeah, that one's gonna get buzzed, but I mean, it's just that one might not because it's talking about it. Yeah, it's
talking about a
But
past
we'll-
event.
we'll-
we
we'll-
might still just
we'll
to be on
still
the safe side.
do it just to save it. But yeah, it was just sad because then I was like, oh man, I should
That
have
sucks.
gone. So like, there's been a
So I've
couple
had
bands
a
where
few
I'm like,
concerts
I
like that.
wish I'd have done it. I wish I'd have gone to them. So what are some of the ones that you had?
So Linkin Park was a good one. Love Linkin. I in high school
Yep.
loved Linkin Park. Luckily, got to see them a few times.
Crawling in my
Yeah.
skin.
Chester was.
I am so sorry. You guys have to
Amazing.
listen to my singing today. I'm in a singing mood today.
I know it's kind of weird.
We're talking about concerts.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why.
probably why. Yeah. But if you were to see like some of the stuff he did, it's just amazing. He had such a crazy vocal range.
Oh yeah, you know who reminds me of him is, and I can't think of his name right now. I just blanked on it from Disturbed.
Oh,
He is amazing.
Yeah.
Like when they redid the Sound of Silence, it was just like, there's no way that's Disturbed.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Disturbed. And then the other one I love, the other song of theirs I love, and it actually makes me tear up, is Memories. So that is such a good song too. But anyway,
so a band that I never got to see that they recently had done a concert, and I need to go see them.
Yeah.
Next time, I don't care if I spend $500 a ticket, I'm gonna see them. But Slipknot.
Oh, see, I've heard they're really good.
I've heard, and I have a couple buddies that are like, yeah, I've been to like 5 or 6 of their concerts. And I'm like, you suck. I need to go.
I need to go to a Korn concert. My daughter wants me to take it. So we're
That
going to go to the one. There's one in
Korn.
Phoenix in October.
Is there really?
Yeah. I'll have to go to Korn.
Well, I guess I got to go to Korn. Because they're also a really good band.
Yes. And you would think like that
Actually, I may have seen them once.
type of music,
Yeah.
people are, oh, it's not really music. Those guys have amazing vocal ranges, and their instrument playing is top. It's the top end.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
And you don't realize it until you see concerts of these people, till you see them in person. Because, you hear it and you've seen people play.
Yeah.
And it's, how many times did it take them to play that one, to put it up on YouTube or put it up on wherever, to where they hit those notes perfect, and went through it. And these guys are just on stage just jamming.
Tool, another one.
Tool is a good one.
Good.
I wish I
There's
could.
just so many good bands.
And I wish I could go through all the lists because I don't even remember anymore. There's so many that I've seen so many bands.
Yeah.
Sum 41, A Day to Remember,
Oh, there you go.
Black Veil Brides.
Did you see New Kids on the Block?
No.
I got to when I was a kid.
So-
My sister wanted to go to it, and my mom made me go.
That's actually not.
Which
That's
it-
not a
back
bad
then
one.
it was a cool band.
That was a cool band. Did you do the dance?
No, I did not do the New Kids dance.
So, funniest thing, my first concert, I bet you will never
The
guess.
aliens have totally stolen my brain today.
Just today. Pretty sure it's been weeks.
Oh, it's been years. What are you talking about? So, yeah, sorry, I cut you off there.
So, I bet you would never guess what my first concert was.
I'm going to say that your first concert was Backstreet Boys.
Oh, no. No, they were.
Because you
they were
still
pretty
love
popular.
them.
I mean, come on, you got to like some of their songs. You know some of their songs. Just you hear it.
I
You're just like,
probably
you would,
will be like.
You probably would sing it.
I Want It That Way, right? Is that one of them?
I think so. Or was that NSYNC?
I want it the back way. Tell me why.
Wait, is that Backstreet Boys or is that
I don't
NSYNC?
know. I don't know. I think that might be NSYNC. I don't know.
Either way, I mean, basically,
It's
the
boy
same
bands
band.
are the
It's
same band. Yeah.
No, it was Snoop Dogg,
Oh, Snoop.
and it
good
was back
stuff.
during his like. So this was 99.
So that's probably.
2000.
So was he with the Interscope already, or was he?
I don't remember. It was right around 2000. So it was right around when.
It's right after
Dre dropped.
Eazy and all that.
Yeah, Dre
So-
dropped the 2000 album.
Suge Knight?
is right in there.
Oh, so was he still with Suge Knight, or had he already left?
I think he'd already left because that was after.
Because that's when he made Death Row Records was Suge Knight, right?
Yes,
And then Interscope. Well, Interscope, I think, is part of his new one.
I don't remember.
I don't
anymore.
remember. I literally just watched Straight Outta Compton the other day and
We're
was like,
talking-
I forgot all these songs. Like these were all amazing.
They're good.
Like
songs.
they're awesome. Like that genre of rap was amazing. So like
It
when
was
they did this
99 2000.
yeah, when they did the Super Bowl show,
yeah.
like my kids are like, what you got? Wife and I are like dancing to the music. And I mean, we're like, this is real music right here. This is real music. Like
It's
Dre
not
is
mumble
a
rap.
Dre is he's a genius.
Yes.
An
He's
absolute genius. And then Eminem, like a lot of guys hate the fact that Eminem is a lyrical genius, but like
He is.
even like you talk
He's amazing.
like was it 50 Cent or whatever said,
50 Cent.
yeah, these guys are pissed that a white guy is one of the better rappers out here.
Oh yeah,
But
he's good.
Oh, he's good. But then you look at like the way Dre produces that stuff he is a genius.
So he was a good rapper.
oh yeah,
too,
absolutely.
but
it's his production of music is just like.
But I think that's probably what made it even better was that he was that good of a producer.
Yeah.
So that his rap would fit with the music and all that.
Like he was just a genius. Like I like to call, in a lifetime, there's geniuses. There's guys who are good at stuff. There's a very few that are
almost like a savant.
Like I would say he would rise to the level of savant for that. Like he gets it. The music and how it plays together and mixes. Like he just knows it.
Well, have you ever
seen?
seen?
So good at it.
Oh my god, I wish I could remember what the hell this guy's name was. Maybe I'll be able to pull it up, but
don't have AI do it. AI is going to be like, well, it depends on who you look at for the proper. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I'm gonna see if I can find it.
But like, I'm with you on that. Like those guys, like he can produce music. There's a reason he's produced for so many people now. Like he doesn't have to do his own music anymore because he produces everybody else's.
Yeah, and he's making so much.
Everybody wants him. Everybody wants him.
Well, okay. So here was the crazy thing. I remember going to an LL Cool J concert. Well, it was West Side Connection. I don't remember who else, and then LL Cool J.
Yep.
So it was a few different of like the older bands. This was after their heyday, so to say. And then LL Cool J comes up, and I was like, "That's the person I'm least looking forward to seeing because he has some good songs, and don't get me wrong, great songs." And then all of a sudden he's up there and he's going, and I was like, "Holy crap! I forgot he sung that. I forgot he sung that." And he put on a great show.
And that's some of it too. Is back then, what I've noticed, I'm old when I say back then.
Back in my day,
you had to throw those shows. Like those concerts were your money makers because they didn't make money on CDs. They made next to nothing on CDs.
Gosh, I can remember this dude.
But anyway,
I'm trying to remember, but it's along the lines of like Dead Mouse and all that kind of thing. They're DJs.
Yeah.
That they mix this music together.
Oh, yeah. The guy you're talking about, the guy who's got the like screen face thing on?
No. That's
I don't know who that is.
Daft Punk does that.
Daft Punk.
No, it's a guy that he has like I think it kind of looks like almost as someone like a fox-ish mask. What does the fox say? I'm trying to remember.
No, it doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah.
He does some amazing
Steve Aoki
mashup.
does some cool mashups too.
Yeah,
Aoki does some cool stuff. But that's more EDM. But
yeah, but it's kind of in that realm. But you see what they're able to do with these mixes and these mashups. And there's a dude on Instagram that I actually follow. His name's Eric something. Not you.
Great name.
Not you. But he does the same thing, and he'll mash together country songs.
Oh, okay.
He'll throw in some country songs with it, and you're just like, holy crap. Yeah. That's really good. He mixes a country song with some random other song.
Yeah.
And like the beat and it's like, holy crap. Because actually there's one that he has that people have remixed, and they're like when you're listening to your music and then all of a sudden this Morgan Wallen song comes on, because he's done that with some Morgan Wallen songs because the lyrics.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is why.
Well, honestly, a lot of music is to the same 4/4 tempo.
Yeah.
So you can adjust slightly for it.
Well, and so he does that, but I think people have slept on some of the country, and I think this is why I've tried to bring you a little into it, because the lyrics, it's the lyrics of it. I think country for a good while.
They've hit home for me for sure on a few songs.
It's because it's an emotional music.
Yeah.
There's not much music anymore that's emotional.
No,
that has
it's all
emotional value.
Yeah. Whop. Not a whole lot of emotional value there.
No. And a lot of it's just like it's the same thing just said differently.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, put some actual value to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like have it mean something.
Yep.
And I think that's why I've gravitated to country a lot more.
Yeah, and I mean, and you can see that specifically, I would say more so on a lot of the newer country.
Yeah.
But then you go back and you listen to like some old Willie Nelson stuff, and you're like, wow, it was back then too.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just, it's the style of music.
Well, and it's not even just that. I think with country too, it's
You had to compete
country
with that.
country turned into it's the only actual singers doing music, right?
Yeah.
For an era, because there's some people that are coming out there a little bit better, like actual singers.
Yeah.
But for a while, they were the only ones that could actually sing. Everything was auto-tune and this and that for a long time, and then the mumble rappers.
Well,
What
did
does
you
it
see the
say?
new rapper from South Africa? It's mute. I'm dead serious.
No.
There's if you could bring it up, it's on. I saw it on Instagram, and it was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Look up South African mute rapper, and it's just like, I'm like, at first I thought it was a joke, and then I saw it multiple times. I was like, oh my god, this might not be a joke.
Congo has produced
Yep.
Africa's first
Is
music
that on
rapper
YouTube?
named MC Baba.
Yeah, play it.
It's on TikTok.
Oh, well, we can at least play TikTok. We're just not allowed to be on it.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, play it and listen to
actually,
it.
let me so that everyone can actually
Pipe it
hear
in, yeah.
too.
So I'm like, I really didn't think that they were being serious.
That's funny. Let's see.
But yeah, I was confused by it the first time I heard it. I was like, what is this? Like, this is something somebody would get in trouble for doing in public. No play?
Doesn't sound like there's any volume to it.
So you
just
couldn't
says-
hear it? Womp, womp, womp. I don't even need the board for that one.
No. Let's see.
There you go. I hear it. It's really quiet.
You know what it is?
You had it on mute.
Yep. It's on mute.
What
you know
is
You
the
gotta-
best age for a female to be in a relationship,
Why are
God?
Why are we doing this again?
46. God has spoken again.
Why are we
Next
doing that
year, I
again?
bet you it's going to be 47 because we're waiting for you to figure this out with our technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties like on a regular basis. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We should be able to hear it, but apparently not.
Are you on the
I
right
might
input?
have to. Yeah, it's all the right stuff. Just
It's a different one.
the what?
That's a different one.
Yes. I have a different head all the time.
Bye, God. Enjoy doing God things.
I don't know. You'd have to bring it up on that. That will definitely put sound to the board. But
Let's go YouTube. What is it? South African. What's his name? Mumbles.
MC Baba.
MC Baba, mute rapper.
Yeah, I can't
Are you
get-
ready?
I can't get it to come up on here.
I want to find just a short one. Now, here's a short. See if it works.
That's not rap. What the hell is that?
I'm dead serious. Well, what? Well, anyway. So yeah, look, this is the dude rapping.
I see that.
Like, and you should be able to see that on the camera. So
He's just making noises.
no, yeah, exactly. So when I saw that, I honestly thought it was a joke. And they're like, no, this is really a thing. And I was like, there's no way that's really a thing. Like,
Why?
oh, I totally get his music. I totally understand what he's trying to say.
he's making
He
animal noises?
sounds like a bird.
Yeah, kind of.
He sounds like a peacock. Like I'm sorry. Like
I've grown up.
maybe I'm cruel, and I don't get it. But I don't get it.
No,
Like I wouldn't pay
okay.
$1 to watch that.
no.
No, I would not enjoy that.
If that's his whole song, like that's
That's pretty much
it's just what the hell. Like, and don't get me wrong. I've listened to music where it's just I've listened to beats. You know what I mean? Just,
yes,
because some beats are amazing,
yes. Oh, like Sandstorm.
But-
I love that song.
but it's just you listen.
You've
to the
heard
beat.
heard Sandstorm before?
Probably.
The Rube Sandstorm. Let me look it up. Now you got
I'm
me
already
looking
up.
up.
But some beats are just amazing. You can listen to the beat, and it's
Oh, that'll get us.
'Cause a beat.
Could that get us
that could.
Yeah, no, so we don't do that. But Darube Sandstorm is really cool. It's like the
Yeah, I think I know-
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
know what you're talking
I
about.
love it. I could
Absolutely.
drive. I can literally
Yeah,
put
and
that on repeat and drive for like hours.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you have 3 or 4 like energy drinks or coffee. You're like,
Yeah, this is my music right now.
yeah. Oh, look at this. I'm going to drive 130 the whole way.
It's so beats can make the difference between a song.
Oh, totally.
Right? But
I don't
That-
understand the lyrics on that. Sorry.
there is a lot of people
Like,
that,
yeah.
like I said,
They
the
would
mumble
think
rappers.
that was amazing.
The mumble rappers.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Like, I want to. If you're gonna have lyrics, I want to be able to have the lyrics. Like,
Yeah.
okay, sweet child of mine,
Oh.
you had me for a week. Well,
Now it's in your head again.
Oh yeah, it still keeps hopping in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Because it keeps showing up.
Yeah, but
Great lyrics.
song, great
and that's
lyric.
why it sticks to you.
Yeah, it's not, and it's a great beat too. When you have
Mm-hmm. It's
both
like
of them
Baby
together,
Shark. The only reason that sticks with people is because it go like
Did I
It's
ever show
catchy.
you Did I ever show you the Banda
Oh,
version
no.
of Baby
I don't-
Shark?
no, don't wanna see
my
it.
God,
I don't wanna
was
see it.
Hilarious. Someone showed it to me. I was just like, no way. But yeah, it's earworms is what they call them. Earworms.
okay.
When it's a very catchy.
Yeah.
So there's those, but that's come on.
yeah.
Like
I,
what
I,
are I
I am
understand-
sure somebody enjoys it. I don't get it.
So I understand we've kind of hit a certain level with certain things because I don't know if you noticed for a little while there was a lot of Down syndrome people that were showing up in shows and everything.
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for hey, we need to bring more diversity in with.
Life goes on.
Yes.
La, 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 life goes
So,
on.
but there was, they started bringing that more into it. And don't get me wrong, some of them were great characters.
Great actors, great characters. Absolutely.
But you have to.
You could understand what they were speaking, and you could understand the storyline that was happening.
Because they played into, yes, they have Down
Yes.
syndrome. They're this person's
Yeah.
brother, whatever,
Yes.
whatever the case was.
Yeah.
But they had an actual purpose.
Yes, that has no purpose.
You know what I mean? And I understand that. Like, okay, yeah, more handicapped people in movies. Okay,
Yeah.
I get you're trying to push it, but they need to have a purpose.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's no just like, oh, they're there because
Yeah.
we needed to fill a quota.
I hate that.
So it's if he was singing great music or putting down, because you can be mute or
And
he's
still be
mute, right?
understood.
Yeah.
he's mute.
So
I don't understand.
he could write out great lyrics.
Yep.
He could be a great songwriter. You know what I mean? It's just it needs to be purposeful.
That-
it can't just be
And honestly, like I said, that is why I was like,
has to be a joke.
I don't get that. I thought it was a joke, and then it's actually not a joke, and I don't get it.
Why? So I think we're, and this is going to be kind of controversial. We've hit a point where you're putting people. Okay, I get disabilities.
Yes.
I have family members. All that kind of stuff. I've grown up with people that had disabilities, but when you're forcing them into a certain, you're basically opening them up to
To criticism.
You're not. Yeah, you're not. You're not helping them.
No. Well, I could go on with the controversy about leadership
Yeah.
in the United States having the same issue right now.
You're not.
It's not that
helping.
person's fault. I'm not going to talk about it much, but it's not that person's fault that the mental decline is there.
Yeah, but you're not helping the person
No.
by forcing them into a certain role
No.
because, and it's the same thing. Like I was saying with you're putting people in a position to open them up for ridicule for all this kind of
Yep.
thing. You're not actually helping the person. Yeah, you might.
There's
okay,
not
they,
much
they,
benefit.
they make a little bit of money here,
Yeah.
but what did they open themselves up to? What kind of mental problems did they open themselves up to? Because people can be cruel, right? And you're putting them in a position, you're forcing them into these spots. People, there should be a meritocracy to a certain
Yes.
degree of that kind of thing. You're forcing them into this spot. They might not be able to perform to that level. it's not fair. It's not fair to that person.
No,
I
and
think,
that's why,
and I think it's
like,
cruel.
I don't like to criticize our leadership. I don't do that. No matter, I don't really do that. Whoever they are, I never really have. I've said I don't like their decisions. I don't like this. I don't like that. So I've always kind of taken that stance. I don't criticize. I don't know what they're going through. But in this situation that we have going on right now, I'm not a fan of it, honestly, because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that scares me with a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, there's
And thank,
it's a lot of
thank the Lord we have a two-man system here in the U.S.
yeah.
But imagine this now flipped in another country that doesn't have a two-man system.
But
And it's not his fault.
and but
I
it's
don't hold that
infective.
against him.
That whole mindset is infective.
It's infected.
Because
It's happened everywhere.
it's certain to happen everywhere. But I see it. Okay, maybe it's an old school way of thinking. I see it as it's cruel to these people.
Absolutely. I'm with you on
Because-
that. I'm with you 100% on that. And we don't agree on a lot.
No.
I will agree 100% with you on that. It's cruel. It's not fair.
No, because like, okay, these people that have Down syndrome that are doing these roles, sometimes, they make a fool of themselves a little bit, but it fits in with the character.
But it's scripted with their character that's
and it might not be scripted.
it might not be
it's
scripted,
something
but it fits within their
fits.
character. Yeah.
Because you see someone that has Down, you automatically notice, okay, yeah, that person has Down syndrome. There's
Well, and I think
these
obviously
characteristics.
because there's certain characteristics that you can see. It's like a little person or a dwarf, depending on
Yeah.
what they want to be called, because there's different schools of thought on what they want to be called. But a little person / dwarf, same thing.
you're going to see
You
it
see
immediately.
it, and you're going to make a judgment. I don't care how. I don't judge anybody. BS.
Yeah.
BS. 100%. You look at that person, and we always talk about it. Like all day long, you're looking at people and making snap judgments on whether you trust them, whether you think they're a good person. That happens all day long.
And that's survival.
That's human nature, and it's
It's
survival.
just survival.
Yep.
But I think it's a controversial topic for me. It's a very hard hitting topic for me
Yes.
because I think it's cruel to people.
I don't
You know what
disagree.
I mean? Like if they put me in a situation that I was not suited for, and they forced me into it and made me do it, I would not do well.
like
and
riding
I
a
would just-
motorcycle.
I think I do fairly well in that.
No, you do good.
I've had my moments.
Yeah, well, as long as you're moving, you're fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Just don't stop.
It's the stopping part.
No, yeah.
But-
But no, I'm with you 100%. I think what's happening is and I'm going to continue with the controversial stuff. We never heard about trans kids. We never heard about LGBTQ. And now all of a sudden, the two lesbian mothers I have 3 kids who are gender neutral. How old are they? 3 years old. They have no idea. You're
don't know
pushing
what's
your
going on.
thoughts onto those children. You're projecting your wants, thoughts, etc. onto those children.
Yeah.
Period. At 3 years old, you don't even know what you want to watch on TV half the time at 3 years old.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Oh, well, they want to be a they, them. You have no clue.
Yes.
You have no clue whatsoever. And I'll be controversial on it because I think it's idiocy what's
Yes.
going on with this. It's absolute idiocy.
Because and that goes into where
And we want to thank one of our founding sponsors, the Legion of St. Michael Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club, founded in 2014 in Chicago, Illinois, by the Chicago Police Department.
they have many chapters throughout the United States and international. We are part of the Tucson chapter, and Eric is actually national president, and he got to go visit our international brothers down in Italy.
And moved on and saw some friends that we met in Italy and Qatar. But we're a 501c3 charitable organization that focuses on law enforcement and first responder families in their times of need, whether it be a death, financial issue. We're there to help support our brothers and sisters in blue.
Yep. Anything they need or their families need, we usually try to help out anything we can, any way we can, financially, or even if it's just moral support, being there for them, being able to help them out with anything they need or we can do for them.
So if you're interested in donating to the Legion of St. Michael, reach out to any of the chapters through us, through our many social media profiles that we have set up.
Being Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, YouTube, or Rumble. Any one of those, you can reach out to us, or you can reach out to us on our email, bikesmikesandidiots@gmail.com, and we'll try to get back to you as quickly as we can so you can help us out and do whatever you can.
And once again, thank you to Legion of St. Michael as a founding member. Okay.
So-
Thank you for watching our sponsor spot. Welcome back.
We might have to start doing that.
Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea.
But, hey, we're learning it as we go.
Yeah, you know.
Hopefully you guys understand.
Hopefully, we're useful idiots for you guys.
Yeah, sometimes you'd hope people can learn from us at least.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think on what we were talking about right before that, I think people are very much projecting. They're very much projecting onto people.
Absolutely.
And they're using people. I think we've hit that point that they're using people. Because don't get me wrong, like I
Well,
I
they
don't
use
remember
them to
what
make a
shows.
statement. Oh, look how progressive I am, or look how conservative I am, or look how, because it happens on both sides of the table,
Oh yeah.
and that's the bad part of it.
But I don't like the fact of using people.
Other people.
And it like I was saying, I'm gonna go back to the Down syndrome thing because that was a very prominent thing for a few years.
Well,
on
yeah,
TV.
when we were growing up, it was big.
But how often when we were growing up, was there people with Down syndrome actually as a full-on character in a show?
One or two, maybe. Maybe. One for sure, because not Family Matters. What was the one with Corky? His name was Corky.
Jesus. I know what you're talking about.
All in the Family.
All in the Family.
All in the
yes.
Family. So that obviously that was his character. That was
Him.
him.
But it wasn't a very common thing. And then for
No,
a little
no,
bit,
not at all.
it was like mid-2000s, late 2000s.
Yeah, I would say late.
They started really pushing a bunch of Down syndrome
Yeah.
characters. And that's all fine
That's
and
great.
dandy.
That's
You know,
great.
you're doing a high school thing or you're doing whatever it may be. Yeah, there's those Down syndrome kids. There's kids that have other disabilities, whatever it
Yeah.
may be. But they have their character.
Yeah,
You're not forcing it into the main thing. And now
Yeah.
they're kind of forcing a lot of those, we'll say, disabilities into
Well,
the main thing. And it's
absolutely.
like, for one, it's a small percentage of the population.
yeah,
If you're forcing it into something, that's great. Hey, it's someone's brother that's, you know, they're a main character and they're kind of a secondary character.
Yeah.
Because on top of
Well, I
it,
don't even
really-
care if you have the story as the main character and that's their main character and the story's about them. That's fine. But just showing up as like a side part for something, like, I don't.
But
Yeah.
you're forcing them into that role. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, unless that's what they're trying to do, that's great. You
Yeah.
know, I'm all for, you know, people doing what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're forcing it in, and then all of a sudden, you're trying to get them to take over part of it because you want to say, "Oh, well, look at the good we did."
Yeah, well, and that's what it comes down to with a lot of these situations with, like, and I'm going to use this rapper for example.
Yeah.
Oh, look what we did. We've got the first mute rapper.
Why?
Okay, well, yeah, his music really hits me.
It's just noises, though.
Yeah.
There's not. Like I said, for someone
Maybe
like
it
that-
means something to him, and he understands it,
But that's the thing, though. If he's
and then that's fine.
But that's the thing. If he's doing that, he's not mute.
Yeah,
Mute means you don't speak. You don't speak.
vocalize. Yeah,
I think we've hit that point where they're playing too much on disabilities.
yeah,
Granted, okay, if you want to really go down that rabbit hole, people are saying like there's so many disabilities now, mental stuff.
oh yeah. If you want to hit mental disabilities, that there's a fortune of those things all over the place.
And there's a bunch of new ones popping up all the time.
Well, yeah, because I think some of it is instead of holding people responsible for their actions, they give it a new name.
Which is terrible.
I think it happens.
Yeah,
But-
and don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people, and there's a lot of traumas
Yeah.
for people. But that doesn't mean it's a disability. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's
Well, like, look at PTSD.
yeah.
They went from it being a combat condition, like, oh my God, this guy's gone through shell shock. He's been bombed for days, and he, like, When you see World War II shell shock soldiers,
Oh yeah, that's a totally
where
different.
they have the twitches and everything from it, we've seen some crazy stuff through peer support training because they show us some of that. Like, hey, these are real traumas. These are real things. Back then, it was like, oh no, he lost his nerve. He's shell shocked. He's lost his nerve. Like that was a big thing. Oh, they just lost their nerve.
And shell shock was actually
Oh yeah, that's CTE. That's
a condition. That was considered a condition.
you
shell
got
shock.
concussed 500 times. That's gonna happen. And those guys got shelled like crazy back then. Like that was how you fought wars. You just bombed the crap out of each other. But then you see like PTSD started with the military, where it was like, hey, these guys have seen and
experienced
stuff. And then now, oh, I'm a teacher. I've got PTSD from this kid. And it's turned into like, I'm going to create a condition for myself so that I'm a victim.
See, and that's such a wrong route to go
Yeah,
down.
well, and it takes away from the true people who have a serious PTSD condition. But you hear it all the time, oh, that's going to give me PTSD. Like, and I'm going to use the example of the reporter that went out and shot the AR-15.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, it's so loud and scary. Oh, I've got PTSD from shooting that gun. You don't get PTSD from shooting a rifle or a pistol. You're an idiot. You're an absolute moron who's using a condition that is a serious medical condition for our service members. And I'm not saying that a teacher couldn't get PTSD. Like a teacher goes through a really bad situation, a bad fight where they get injured, they get a trauma. Victims have PTSD.
Yes.
And you're taking that away from the legitimate people who have that disease and turn it into a victimhood, and you minimize their suffering.
Yes.
And that bothers me.
Yes, absolutely. I'm on that same page with you because people have done that. They've minimized so many of these things and said, oh, I have this now. Okay, you have some kind of trauma. Yeah. That's fine. You have a trauma.
Yes.
Therapy
Not
can
all
help it, and
trauma
that's fine.
turns into PTSD.
No. Although, Prius.
Well, that you very well may have. That could be. That could be because, I mean, that's, yeah.
I mean, it was a traumatic experience.
The Prii.
I smacked into that thing.
Yeah, so
Like
I mean, and that could be a trauma, but it's not like you shut down every time a Prius drives by.
No.
PTSD, if you look at the real clinical definition of it, it is PTSD is something post-traumatic stress. Jeez, I just did. So PTSD is something where it causes an issue of living. So like you hear
Fireworks.
a firework go off, and it reminds you of getting bombed in Fallujah.
Yeah.
That gives you a physical response to that stimuli,
Yes.
to where it's hard to function normally. But then you hear, I hear all the time. I want to say I was at the grocery store is where I heard it. And this lady came in and she was talking. She has her Stanley Cup, Karen with her Stanley Cup. Oh yeah. When I just heard her talk about that, it just gave me PTSD. It brought me back. You don't even know what PTSD is, lady, and you're using it to become a victim and be cool. I don't like that crap.
No.
You're taking it away from our service. It's like ADHD.
It's not even just service members. It's
a lot of kids don't have ADHD.
No.
They're just kids.
Yeah.
And then that you take away from the kids that really do have the ADHD,
really
that need the help, that struggle. And you just, everybody's got to have something now.
But why? Why? That's the question.
Because
why?
you've got to be a victim. You can't be responsible for your actions. Oh, well, I can't go to this store because it gives me PTSD. Give me a break.
It's just getting to the ridiculous.
It's the same as these idiots who wear masks in their cars by themselves. You're in your own car driving by yourself, unless you have a serious respiratory condition.
Even then, you're in the car by yourself. If you have a serious respiratory condition, you probably shouldn't
be
have that
driving.
mask on.
Well, you shouldn't be driving.
That's probably that too. But you probably shouldn't have that mask on while you're driving because you're going to cause yourself to go into a certain panic mode that.
So, it just drives me nuts. But the pandemic, I think, made this stuff 10 times worse because now it's, we've got to have this. I've got to have this. Oh, if I don't have this, then, it just.
It caused more of the What is it?
Munchausen syndrome. Or something like
Munchausen by proxy.
that? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where
There's certain people
you've got to be
'cause-
sick. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be sick, or everything's going to cause you to be sick.
Well, if I don't
or-
have a problem, you
yeah,
know,
it's creating
Yeah.
creating problems, and it's
or I lost my keys. I need to go to therapy. So then
don't get
now
me wrong.
the people who need therapy can't get in because
because
somebody
everybody's-
didn't like the color of your Stanley. Now you've got to go.
Now
Oh, well,
you-
people hate me because they didn't like the color of my Stanley. And you'll hear it. You'll hear it all the time. You see it all the time.
they really do kind of cause more not aggression. What the hell's the word I'm looking for? It's not controversy either.
Yeah.
Whatever. I can't think of the word.
Yeah.
There's a certain word I was thinking of. It causes more, not agitation either. It's right in that note. It's right in that.
Well, we'll get
No,
out of thesaurus one of these days and we'll figure it out. But no, I know where you're going with it. It just,
It causes more friction
yeah.
for no reason,
Yes.
which then causes more problems.
Well, and then that's, I don't like how she responded to that, so now I've got to go. And then I don't like how she responded to that, to my response to that.
What happened to the
What
days
happened to
of
us
just-
dealing with life?
Yeah, what happened to the days of, oh, you know what? We're at a party.
Yep.
I don't like how she responded. You know what? I'm just going to walk away from that and I'm going to go talk to my friends over here.
Well, but I
And
need to be a
just-
victim because of how I was treated by this person. I need to be a victim so that you feel bad for me, and then you'll like me better.
But what does that bring to the person?
Nothing.
You know what I mean? What does that actually
Absolutely nothing.
gain? What do you gain?
Well, here's the gain. It's not my fault I feel like this. I have a problem.
Okay.
And instead of saying, I am overreacting to this situation because right now I'm emotional because I'm tired, sick, too drunk, etc. Instead of saying, I need to control these emotions within myself because I'm overreacting to this. It's,
Yeah.
you're making me do this. You're making me feel like
It's not
this.
my fault.
No personal responsibility
fault.
whatsoever.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. We have turned into a society that has no personal responsibility. Like the people who argue, like you got pulled over by a cop for going 77 in a 55. Why are you
wasn't
pulling
my
me over? Because you're going 77 in a 55. Well, no, I wasn't. It's on the radar gun. You know what happens when I got pulled over for speeding last time? I pulled over. I got my stuff out. The officer came up, said, hey, you know why I pulled you over? Yep, I was speeding. Here you go. Here's my stuff.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? Hey, you know what? Just slow it down. Have a good day. Since you admitted to it, have a good day.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you,
that,
sir.
and that usually what it comes down to.
Most of the time, if you have a semi-decent reason for driving fast,
Yeah.
they cut you a break.
Especially
It's
if,
more work for them to write a
depending.
ticket. Well, it depends who
depending
it
on the
is.
situation.
If it's a motor cop, you're getting a ticket. As soon as the kickstand goes down, you got a ticket.
Because it's extra work.
yeah.
But I remember a situation with my niece where she's like, oh, I can't believe this cop was being such an a-hole because this, that, and the
Yeah.
other. And I was like, did you talk back to him?
Well, yeah.
She's like, no, I just said this, that. And I was like, you talk back to him.
Yep.
You weren't being disrespectful and being like, I'm sorry. You know I messed up. It was,
Yep.
you started talking back. And she's like, yeah, but he was being an a-. And I was like, if you wouldn't have started with
He wouldn't have
this,
been an a-hole.
He wouldn't have been an a-hole. And that's usually what it comes down to.
But guess what? Well, it's not my fault. That's where she was going with it. Oh,
Yes.
well, it's not my fault. Yeah, you were speeding. That's for the most part, because it does happen though.
Yeah.
For the most part, when you get pulled over, there's a reason you're getting pulled over.
Hey,
they
you
don't just pull.
you
I'm going
swerved
to
a
pull
bit.
over a car.
You swerved.
They don't just normally
Although
pull over a car.
I remember,
it does happen.
I
but
remember
it's not
looking back
normal.
on. I remember looking back on a situation. This was way before I was ever in law enforcement, and it was. I was young, got pulled over, pretty much for no reason. Wasn't speeding, wasn't anything. I was driving in my parents' car, one of their cars. So it's a really nice car,
Yeah, young kid, really nice car.
Late at
That
night.
is a reason.
but late at night. And I didn't
That
think anything of
that
it.
is reasonable suspicion depending on where you're at.
Yeah. And I didn't know what the
Yeah.
whole situation was. Looking back on it, I said what I said
Yeah.
back then, thinking, oh, he just pulled me over for,
Yep.
being a young kid in this nice car late at night. thinking back on it, I'm like, there was probably, this and this happening.
Yeah, there's some
around
other
that
things. There might
area.
be some other things
There's
going
other
on.
Factors
There's been
happening
a string of
because I
car
wasn't-
thefts. There's been something.
Whatever the case
Yeah.
was, but I didn't think of that then.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I think back on it, again, Monday morning quarterback type thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't think of that then.
Yeah.
I just thought the cops
You,
being an ass.
you don't know what you don't know. And
Yeah.
now that you've been in LE for a while,
I know.
Now
it's-
you know.
There's a lot more situations that probably led to it because he let me off.
Yeah.
No problem. It wasn't anything because he didn't pull me over for speeding because I wasn't speeding.
Yep.
He didn't pull me over for not turning on turn signal, none of that
Yeah.
stuff. He came up, talked to me for a second, grabbed my license, went back and checked it, which he probably just ran checks to see, hey,
Yep.
is this person...
Oh,
whatever?
hey,
okay.
same last name as these other people.
Cool.
Probably their kid. Oh, his story matches the
Yeah.
car now. Okay,
Here's
good to
here's
go.
your stuff. Go be safe.
No,
That was it. But a lot of people don't ever
no,
see that other side.
no. Like I watched that Fridays with Frank on
I've
YouTube
never
a
seen
lot.
it.
He's Pinal County Sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny because he pulls people over and you see their interactions with each other. And like on one of them, it's this guy in this Porsche Cayenne SUV.
Yeah.
Not Cayenne.
Cayman.
Cayman.
No, Cayman's the
Cayman's the car.
Cayenne's the
Is it Cayenne?
Cayenne's the SUV.
Okay. So he gets pulled over for like 20 over in a construction zone with people working.
Yeah.
And the guy's giving him all sorts of lip. It's like,
Come on, dude. You were
and that-
in the wrong.
And then the whole thing where people, I don't have to give you my ID until you tell me why you pulled me over. Yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
I already pulled
I
you
don't
over.
ever, by a law, and at least in Arizona, I don't have to tell you why I stopped you.
Yeah.
I legally don't have to until I write you your ticket.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The cooperation creates...
Oh, yeah.
It's because you're not fighting with the person the whole time.
Well, you heard about that guy that got shot by the cop when he was 100% cooperative, right?
No.
Oh, wait, no, because that doesn't happen.
And that's usually... They try to play it off.
Sorry.
They clip
Yeah.
things. They clip things to the point of...
Oh, you're going to have to buzz that for a second.
Oh, yeah,
guys.
absolutely, I will.
But I mean, honestly, though, that I was always, and I've told my kids the same thing. You don't have to answer their questions necessarily. Like if they ask you, do you know what you were doing? And you know you were speeding, you don't have to say I was speeding. Don't mea culpa.
Hey,
I
I'm
mean,
not
it depends
sure.
which
I'm
one.
not sure.
I'm not quite sure. But you don't argue back. You be
No.
yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, here's my
Absolutely.
ID. Here's my insurance. My dad's going to kill me.
And
You
that,
know.
but that takes me into the what I was saying about
Yeah.
my niece, where she didn't think she had done anything wrong, and I was like,
Yeah.
"What? How did this interaction go?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "I bet you were talking back." She's like, "No, this, that, and the other." And I was like, "Just what you said right there. You were talking back.
Yep.
You were being disrespectful. All you have to do, hey, I'm
Be
sorry.
respectful.
Here's my stuff." Because anytime
And
I
you
ever
don't
get
even have
pulled
to
over-
say I'm sorry.
no.
Oh, sir, they pull you over. Hey, I pulled you over. No, sir, I'm not sure. I've got my ID for you. Do you want me to grab you? No, my stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Here you go, sir.
And then on top of it, having
Yes,
been
sir,
in law
no,
enforcement,
sir goes forever.
it goes a long way in a lot
Yep.
of things. Rolling down all your windows.
Yep.
Every time I've ever gotten pulled over
Yep.
after being in law enforcement, all my windows
All
go
my
down
windows down.
immediately. It's because we've been there.
Yep.
You've walked up to cars and you're like,
I
"Ooh,
can't
this
see
is-
into this window.
This is sketchy."
Is there somebody in the back? What's going on?
Yes. So just as a common courtesy to them, I'm
Yeah.
like, all my windows go
Well, and
down.
I turn
have all
my
stuff.
interior lights on if it's
Yep.
nighttime. I turn my interior lights on, windows down.
Yep. Because
Because
you're
those
like,
two
you want
things
to
that
put
I
them-
do are easy.
Yeah, and you want to put them at peace too,
Yes.
because it's like I wasn't doing anything overly sketchy, and I don't
Yeah.
want you to be walking up to my car
Yeah,
thinking
my
there's something
sketchiness
sketchy
is a little
happening.
low on this one. No, I'm with you 100%, and it makes such a difference, and people don't realize that.
No, it puts them at ease a little bit because it's
Yep.
I can see everything going on. Okay, I'm more comfortable.
Yeah. Oh, their hands are
That's
on their
all.
steering wheel. I can see them.
Yeah,
I don't get shot by the person whose hands on the steering wheel.
yeah,
And in Arizona, especially like here in Arizona, everyone carries guns.
yes.
It's a constitutional carry state. You can carry without a permit concealed in this state.
and it makes a significant difference for people.
Yes. And if you have a concealed carry permit, great. That just means you're certified to carry. But everybody can carry concealed in this state.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. That's part of our constitutional rights here in this state, which should be everywhere in the U.S. But whatever. That's a whole different.
That's a whole topic.
That's
for
a
another
whole
day.
topic for like a 5-day topic
we could,
one.
We could probably go on for days on
Yeah.
that.
Because I mean, there's a Constitution behind us. And, Second Amendment is kind of on there. But anyway, yeah, I'm with you on that. And it just a little bit of humility goes a long way with an officer.
I wish people would. I think people, it's either one direction or the other. There's not a lot of in the middle anymore.
No.
People go the whole other direction
Yep.
of I'm overcompensating.
Yep. Well, people forget the place to fight a cop is not out in the street.
It's in the court.
It's in the courthouse. If they did something wrong, let them violate your rights.
Yeah.
Let them violate your rights because guess what? You're going to own them in court
And
if you were right.
yeah.
So, like, and police officers have always been afraid when body cams first started to come out, every police officer was like, oh, no, they're going to see what I did.
Yeah.
Now, and I do think some behaviors change because of body cams for sure.
Yes.
But in something like 95% of complaints, the body cameras show that the officer did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So, oh, well, I never said that. And then you have them on video taking a swing at the cop. And then the cop, hey, if you take a swing at me, you're going to get a swing back.
Yeah.
We're going
Game's
to
on.
we're going to respond in kind.
Yes.
That's the easiest way to say that, I think, without getting in trouble.
Yes.
But I mean, obviously, like, we've learned it. We're older, so we understand that. As a kid, my parents told me right from the scratch, we know every cop in this town, and you better hope you don't screw up because we will find out about it.
yeah.
And I did. I got a warning, and the next day, my parents were like, "Oh, you guess who called us?"
Yeah.
Oh, shoot!
Yeah. Well, and see that, and I learned. I grew up in Tucson, so
Yeah,
there was no way.
lots
of
of
that
law
being the case.
enforcement in Tucson.
But I grew up seeing anytime my dad had ever gotten pulled over when I was young, it was, he was very,
Yes, sir.
very
No, sir.
respectful.
And if you're not
Didn't,
doing
didn't
something,
roll down all the windows, but
Yeah.
he had rolled down his window,
Yeah.
and then if they asked, he rolled down all the rest of the windows. Now looking back, knowing what I know,
Yeah.
it's different. But he didn't know that because he was
Yeah.
never law enforcement. He never had to deal with the other side of it. But he was always very respectful to
Yeah.
law enforcement. If he ever got pulled over, yes sir, no sir, here's my stuff.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And any of that stuff, it was just always very respectful. So I learned you pick up from that.
Yes.
And then knowing what I know now, it's even more. So
And
I
you
try
can-
to teach my kids that too.
And you can know your rights
Yeah.
and exercise your rights without being a douchebag.
yes.
No, sir, I don't feel like I'm going to answer that question right now without an attorney present.
You can absolutely
I
do
don't
that.
have to answer your questions. No,
And you get
totally
confrontational.
different. Sir, I'm just not going to answer any questions right now due to my Fifth Amendment right.
Yep. And you don't
Okay,
have to
sir,
be
not a problem.
confrontational.
That's not, what I just said the second time is not confrontational. Not
No.
you can't pull me over. My favorite, I pay your salary.
Jeez.
And usually the people who say that
Yeah.
are the ones who pay less taxes than the police officers working on the force.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, this hour's on me, buddy. But I mean, it's simple courtesy, and that's with everybody. Like when
And
I'm at a
that's in
restaurant,
general.
if a waitress messes up, I don't flip out. I don't yell. I've seen people. This is the worst food I've ever had. You're terrible. Why be an a-hole? There's no reason for it.
Sometimes it's a busy night.
How many times have we been out to lunch, even at the place we go all the time, and they know us, and something gets screwed up, and we
Yeah.
say, "Hey, just this isn't quite right.
Yeah.
Is there any
And
way that
they're-
we can get this fixed?" You've got it, sir.
Immediate.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, it's like I've had them take back entire meals because, like, the steak that I got ordered was not. It wasn't that it wasn't cooked right. It was one of the pieces that just ended up having that weird grizzle in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I said, yeah, this steak has this weird run of fat in it. I'm just not going to eat it. I'm done with it. You can take it back. We'll fire you a new one immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't ask for it.
As long as you are courteous,
Courteous and polite gets you so far in life
huge difference.
with everything.
Absolutely.
Everything does that.
And people just don't understand that anymore.
Well, it's because they've seen all these shows and where all these people, like, I call it the Real Housewife syndrome,
Yeah.
where they throw tables, they act like idiots, all that. They all act like, every single one of those shows, they act like that. And and I think it is a detriment to our society.
And I agree.
Yeah. So
It-
anyway.
it's created problems.
Yeah.
So I think on that note, I think we're going to call this one. We had other topics we thought about talking about.
And we
but we
typical
went off.
idiots, we went off on something else, but it works. So just remember to live good,
Ride hard.
and we'll catch you next time.
Ba, 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 ba.